Cheers. Good morning, YouTube. Welcome back to my channel. So I still am a little bit poorly. I'm still recovering from the tonsillitis. It's now turned into like snottiness, which is lovely. But I'm going to take you through like a little bit of my morning this morning, trying to attempt a gym session as well. So obviously I've had a few days off of the gym for rest to make sure that I don't feel like even worse. So I'm gonna head back to the gym today and do a push session. So nothing too crazy, just shoulders and chest, and I'll probably do a deload, so it will be like the second working set and we'll just see how I get on. But I thought it'd be nice to take you through my session, take you to the gym with me, and then just do a little bit of like a morning vlog, I suppose. And then I'm going to answer those other questions that I had from my previous video. So I've just made a coffee, just gonna sit down, drink a coffee. What I do is, this is my office. I just replied to like some client messages that were left from yesterday, because I go to sleep at like 8:30 to 9 p.m. because I'm a grandma. So the clients that like have replied to me, I have a few clients that are from across the world as well. So if they message me, it's like their time zone. So just make sure that I'm replying to their messages, getting back to them, do a little bit of work, and then I will head to the gym. I'm not gonna go through my food today because I'll do that another day, like a full day of eating, bearing in mind I'm a bodybuilder, so I don't eat like really lovely food. It's not like greatly inspiring, but what I am gonna do is take you through what I drink at the gym. So I always fill up one of these. I only really fill it like to about there because I put loads of juice in there as well. So here we have the makeshift funnel, which I have actually bought these things, but when you put powder in them, they get all stuck in there. So I actually prefer to just use a paper cone. So these, I have creatine, always take it on my rest days as well. Every day, 5 grams of creatine. I don't really weigh it because I like kind of eyeball my scoop, and that goes in there. And then this isn't the brand, I have used this before, but inside it isn't this. I just basically put like a MyProtein one in there, but they're EAAs. And the reason why I take EAAs is because they are your 9 essential amino acids. And basically whilst you're taking them when you train, it's helping you replenish the proteins that you're breaking down. So it's really good during prep as well, but I just try and keep them in like continuously. So it's like in there all the time, but basically they're really good whilst you're training because it helps replenish the proteins that you're breaking down so you don't feel as fatigued. It's not like a miracle thing. Just take them. If you are vegan, these are really, really good to take as well because majority of the time, there's nothing left in that, majority of the time, a lot of like vegan like replacement foods and your proteins, if they're not made of soya, they don't have all the 9 amino acids in, essential amino acids. So it's really good to supplement with EAAs. BCAAs are branched chain amino acids, and these aren't really like that beneficial. You're better off getting EAAs because they are the essential amino acids that your body needs to make a complete protein. So yeah, that's my drink. I drink that every session. During my session, I only have creatine on rest days. I don't have the EAAs on rest days. This is just like my intra workout, so what I have whilst I'm training. I'm just going to make my pre-workout meal. I'm not really going to go into too much detail with the food side of things. Like I said today, I'll go through like a full day of eating on another YouTube video. But like I said, these aren't like amazing meals. They are bodybuilding meals. I had a comment on one of my shorts. So when I first started like posting like the shorts and like the Instagram reels and stuff, I was like being prepared for people to comment shit on them. And I had, it was like one of the videos that was like how to increase your protein or something on my shorts. Bearing in mind I do these just as helpful insight to help people that have like no idea. I'm not on here as like a gourmet chef. But yeah, someone commented like something really horrible. I can't remember what it was like specifically, but it was like not being funny, but this that's like proper council estate food. And I was like, cheers mate, like, you know, you don't have to eat it. But yeah, when you're in off season, you can make your food a little bit more exciting. Like I have like chicken curry, stir fries, you know, we make like homemade pizzas and stuff like that, but it's not recipe book food. It's literally food for fuel. Anyway, I'm gonna make my pre-workout meal and then we'll go to the gym. Little outfit check. No cute sets here. Yeah, I'm not any like kind of Gymshark influencer or anything, but hey, it's now 8:30. Just about to leave. Probably not a great time because I'm gonna probably get stuck in so much traffic, but it's what it is. And then I'll try and show you some of my session. I don't know whether to like have the mic on in my session or not, but I guess it just depends how busy the gym is because I don't want to be annoying other people by talking to myself basically. So yeah, I'll see you there. It's not even that cold anymore, but I just have an obsession with putting on my little bum warmer. Right, all I'm doing is warming up the shoulders. I'm recording, by the way, if you want to say hello. Hello to the tube. Here's all my gym friends. I've got two. Yeah, she's only my friend because she's my brother's girlfriend. No, I hope you are my friends. Right, I am only doing a, as I said this morning, just a little pump up session today. Not too crazy, she says. I'm trying not to go too much to failure today. Like, do not judge me because there's no weight on this bar. This Smith machine is like 6 ton. You can't put much on there. I promise I'm not that weak. the gym. So I'm just going to go through the rest of these questions that I have. So they're quite mixed. So some of them are to do with like work and business, and then the other ones to do like bodybuilding, and like kind of the things that I want to achieve and stuff like that. So I'm just gonna go straight into them. The first one we'll go through is, what is your favourite and least favourite part of your job as a coach? My favourite part is obviously being able to help people, watch them on their journeys, be a part of that journey, watch them almost blossom from being, you know, unconfident, inconfident in themselves, not really knowing a lot, and being able to actually teach them the education that they can go away with. My main sort of thing with my business is that it's sustainable, that people actually learn from me, and that I'm not just telling them what to do. The whole process of it is so that I can ensure that people take away that education and that they can implement it when they're not with me. So that's my favourite part of the job. There's lots more, but I don't want to go into too much detail with things and be on here for absolute ages talking about it. But obviously the whole point I do it is because I absolutely love it, and I wouldn't do it otherwise. The thing that I don't enjoy the most is how people kind of have that perception on you that you're just a PT or you're just an online coach, and that there's not actually a lot of work behind it. So for myself, obviously I've grown my business for over the last 5 years, and it hasn't been easy, and it definitely is an easy job. Also, people have a misunderstanding of how much work is actually behind the scenes that you put into your clients, especially if you are someone who puts a lot of work into it, and you're not just kind of like a backseat coach. You know, there is a lot of stuff that goes within their programming, making sure that you're replying to their messages, making sure that you're staying on top of your finances, your incomings, your outgoings, how much you actually pay out, especially if you do care and you want a lot of content for your clients and you want a lot of things available to them. So obviously I have like a coaching app, I have 2 coaching apps, I have a lot of like things that they can go to, so resources, PDFs, videos that I do. You know, there's a lot of behind the scenes that goes into making sure that your Instagram's in the right place so people can go there for education. So you're kind of like your own advertisement, your own you know, business person, woman behind the scenes. I obviously, where I'm PTing, I actually physically go to work and I'm physically with my clients, so I don't always have like all of this time to do all of the things that I actually need. So you can be quite hard on yourself with that, and I think that's probably the worst part of like owning any business, is that people don't truly understand how much you're doing behind the scenes. As much as it looks great and it is fun and it is a good job, it is very difficult and there is a lot that goes into it. Next one I have is, do you make friends with your clients? Majority of the time, yes. I would say the reason being is because me as a personality, I like to listen to people and I like to make them feel comfortable. So I think that's where it probably stems from, is that people can be very open and honest with me, and that's kind of what I want to be as a coach anyway. Like, if you're not open and honest with your coach, they're going to have no idea of how to help you. So I think the reason why I do end up making a lot of friends with my clients is because, one, I see them on a very regular basis. You know, I'm seeing them, especially my PT clients, I'm seeing them weekly. So you know, you catch up, you get involved in their lives, like, you know, they come to you, and once people feel safe with you and you're that safe person, if you can be, I would consider myself being, I like to listen to people and I like to make them feel comfortable. So I think the more someone trusts you, the more they kind of confide in you and let you know about their lives. And PT sessions sometimes turn into like a counselling session, like people let you know how they're getting on and life things, and if they need any help and support, and I'm more than happy to give that, because it's like an outsider's point of view without a like opinion on it. You know, like your friends and your boyfriends and family members and stuff are going to have opinions, whereas I don't have an opinion. I just give you my like truest you know, kind of advice for things. And I definitely have obviously I'm biased, but I definitely have a good group of clients and they all are wonderful in their own little ways. So yes, I do end up making friends with my clients, and I really enjoy it. And you know, it's kind of like I do have that friendship with them, but I'm still able to be that coach at the same time. And I think a lot of people get that misunderstanding. Obviously you can be friendly with people and still be stern with them and be open and honest with them, and I'm kind of like that side of coaching is, you know, something that you have to be really like on top of, because if you let if you let the friendship become too much, then you're not going to be able to help that person because you are kind of like letting them off too much. So I'm very open. I'm the same with like my normal friends that aren't my clients. Like if I have an issue or a problem, I communicate it with them. So same with my clients. Like if there is something that needs communicating with them, I'm not shy of letting them know. Just obviously there's ways of being able to speak to people properly without making them feel like shit. Next one, it's kind of like the first half of it I already went through on my first YouTube. So what first got you into fitness, how you grew your business, things that you have learned through bodybuilding, favorite things of off-season prep and struggles you found during both, and your future big goals. So we'll break it down, and some of them I would have already answered. So the first one I would have already answered, like what got you into fitness, how you grew your business. So there isn't like a secret to how to grow your business. Like I've had my business since 5 years ago, so it's taken me 5 years to get where I am, and sometimes I'm very hard on myself that I don't think that I'm in a place where I should be. That's my own pressure that I put on myself. In actual fact, I've come such a long way, and I think a lot of people, that they try and grow their businesses like too quickly, without the right intentions. So it is a case of making sure that you are putting the work in every single day, sort of breaking your goals down and analysing them properly without being too hard on yourself, because when you don't have anyone to kind of report to, like a boss or someone that you work for, it can be really difficult to overwork and put too much pressure on yourself. So for me, it was just making sure that I'm hitting milestones. To be honest, making sure that my clients' needs are always hit, that everything I'm doing is for them, and that everything that I do is evolving for them, and making sure that their experience is the best experience they could possibly have. So I have invested a lot into my business, and I continue to do so. And you know, it might be something that at the time feels really like hard, because you don't get loads and you're paying out money, but in turn it helps your business grow more. So I think understanding that you're going to have to sacrifice things to make your business grow better, and that you have to have the right intentions for your business as well to, you know, help it grow in the right ways. Be consistent with things, make sure that you are educating yourself constantly, growing your education so that you're able to, you know, pass that on to other people as well. So the second thing's about things that you've learned through bodybuilding, favorite things in your off-season prep, and struggles that you found during both. So we'll break it down again. So the things that I've learned through bodybuilding is kind of like what I put in my last video. It's great in terms of like the community, and I finally feel like I fit into somewhere, like I finally feel like I have a purpose, and I think that's the biggest thing that I've learned through bodybuilding, is that it's all you. Like it doesn't matter about anybody else. You're not, as much as you can be part of a group of things, like if you don't put the work in, you're not going to change. And that's the biggest thing that I've learned, is that bodybuilding's brought me like that structure and that discipline, and that kind of like I found that path for myself, that where I finally feel like I fit in. The favourite things about off-season and prep, and struggles that you found during both. So the favourite thing about in off-season is that obviously you have a little bit more like variety with your foods, like you can go out for dinners and things like that, so you have a little bit more kind of freedom with the food side of things. And also feeling super strong when you're in an off season, because obviously the more you eat, the more energy you have, so you can focus more on like lifting heavier, and you're not so worried about like injuring yourself and stuff. My favorite thing about prep is that it really taught me structure, it taught me routine, and it taught me my discipline. But the struggles in both of them, the struggles in off season, is that obviously you are a little bit larger. It's not just like a usual bulk. You are trying to build not abnormal, but more muscle than your body actually requires, your body actually needs. So it does take a lot to push your body through getting that muscle, which means that you eat a little bit more than the average person. So consuming a little bit more food can get like uncomfortable. But I haven't ever been in a position where I'm eating like stupid amounts, and I'm still moving around during the day, so you still like, you know, maintain an appetite. And I think maybe just feeling a little bit uncomfortable in clothes, but that's down to you and your mindset and ensuring that you're in the right position, because
if you're essentially trying to grow and get bigger and you're trying to still fit in clothes that you had from previous, then that's your own fault, like that's your own problem. You're trying to squish your body into clothes that no longer fit you. And something I always say to my clients, like you don't, you know, go into a shop and try on a pair of shoes and then have a go at your feet because they don't fit into the shoes. You just go up a size, down a size, or change the shoe. So why do we do it to our bodies? You know, I am training for a specific reason, and if I'm getting upset with myself because I don't fit in clothes that used to fit me like a year ago, that's my own problem. I'm putting on clothes that don't fit me, so I need to buy clothes that fit me now, so I can feel comfortable in the body I am in. And that's just something that you have to understand with bodybuilding, because obviously you go through like the two extremes of like being a little bit bigger, kind of in the middle, and then a lot smaller. So you have to have clothes that are going to fit you within all of those periods of time. So they're kind of like the main struggles that I, you know, kind of have with that. Like I wouldn't say it was massive. The struggles in terms of prep, obviously you're doing it to yourself, so you can't be complaining the whole way through, and if you do, then it's not right for you. You prep because you want to. It's almost like a privilege to be able to prep because it's your choice. So the main struggle I found with my prep was my brain energy. So I'm not the best anyway. So I found it really difficult to like focus, really difficult to give proper structured feedback in terms of check-ins and things. It really just wiped me out. So I would say that was like the main struggles, and just like general energy in general. Like obviously I did struggle with being hungry, but again, like that's my, you know, it's my choice. I'm doing it out of my own decision, so you kind of need to just deal with it. But it's the energy side of things, because I'm quite like a naturally energetic person. You definitely noticed that I was very like low in energy. So yeah, that hopefully that's the answer to my question. Answer to that question, not my question. The bit at the bottom about future big goals. So I have like another one as well. So future big goals, there was one about what's the next step for AGPT. 5 years time, where do you see yourself in the sense of your business or your competitive environment? And then there was another one that says what's your ultimate goals in bodybuilding. So we'll kind of link those together. So let's just go with that middle question. So in 5 years time, because it kind of ties all of them together. The like kind of ultimate goal is I don't want to just be an online coach. I do really enjoy being a PT, and I would love to do that for as long as I can do. So touch wood, I'm always able to do that. The ultimate goal for me is to have my own PT studio, and that is something that I want to work towards. It's obviously going to take like a lot of money and a lot of dedication. We need to make sure that we're certain with like the area and all of that jazz. So that is definitely something I'm working towards. With competing, it is something that I'm like wanting to prioritize at the moment in terms of like my own goals, and it does take a lot of money, and it is a very expensive sport to do. So obviously that's where my dedication and money is going at the moment. And in terms of like my business, I still feel like there's a lot that you can do and grow. So like my main focus for me is like growing my education, doing more courses, doing more things that are going to help me be able to help my clients even more so, and again elevate their coaching experience with me. I would like to still continue doing the two. So I really like the online coaching side of things because I get to connect with people that aren't necessarily in the area, and there is so many hours that you can do in PT. Like it does wipe you out, and you don't want the quality of your PT to be affected by you just doing loads of hours of PT. So I do like to cap that and make sure that the quality is there rather than the quantity. As much as I would like to help as many people as possible, it's just not physically possible. So yeah, my main kind of goals with that is obviously have my own PT studio somewhere, but again it would be such as making sure that we're in a good position for that, and essentially we would like to own our own house. So again, it would be like area, making sure that it's within the same sort of area so they're not traveling really far away. What's my ultimate goal in bodybuilding? So when I initially started the bodybuilding side of things, I just wanted to do it to see how well I would do, obviously. And I think I've proven to myself that it is something I really enjoy and that I would like to continue doing it. And it's something that, you know, it's like a day-to-day lifestyle. Like, people, you don't really like think about it, you just get on with it. So in terms of like the competitive side of things, I will always stay natural. I really love like the natural look. I don't necessarily feel like I need to take any enhancements to be able to get to where I need to be, without that sounding like, you know, I guess like cocky. I don't mean it in that way. I just mean that's not something that interests me. I would always like to stay on the natural side, and just see where my potential is in terms of building naturally. So for me, I would like to progress in that and potentially have a natural pro card, and be a natural pro figure athlete. So that's like the long-term goals. However long that will take me to get there, that is something that I, you know, looking to do. I'm going to do another YouTube in depth a bit more about like goals and bodybuilding last year and this year, etc. So we'll go into a bit more detail with that, but that is essentially the end goal, or like the main goal that I'm working towards. Next one is, does it frustrate you when your clients don't take your advice or follow the programs that you set? It doesn't necessarily frustrate me, because you need to understand the person and understand why they're not following the advice and why they're not following the programs, and change it to suit them. Nothing ever frustrates me. I just need to understand the main root cause to as why this person is struggling with certain things, and that is the whole point of a coach. I feel like if people are getting frustrated, or like coaches are getting frustrated with their clients, they don't understand how to they always don't have like a good people skills, because essentially the whole point of being a coach is, yes, to set programs, yes, to give advice, but also to be there as a helping hand, to be able to coach someone through the process. So it doesn't necessarily frustrate me. It does, you know, it's something that you have to understand, as everyone's completely different, and individuals, they have different things that are going on in their lives. I think sometimes you just need to push that person a little bit, and give them the, you know, little bit of a boost that they need. And I think people need to understand before that they do get a coach, that getting a coach isn't going to get you to where you want to be unless you are willing to put in the work. Because I always say to my clients, I will give you the toolbox, I will give you all the tools inside of the toolbox, I will sit there and read out the instructions for you and sit and like help you decide what tool to use, but I am not going to do it for you, and I can't do it for you, and I can't physically dip in and make you do these things. You have to follow the tools, you have to use the tools, and you have to follow my advice to be able to get there. So you can chop and change coaches all you like. The main part of the whole, you know, basis is that it's all going to be the same. The programming, you know, the set out of food, majority of the time it's the same. It's how you get on with that coach and whether you are willing to put in that work yourself. So no, it doesn't frustrate me. You just need to make sure that you're in a position that you are willing to take that person's advice, you are willing to take that constructive criticism and use it to benefit you. Next one is, what are your best discipline tricks and tips? Discipline is taught, not given. So if you, again, kind of stemming on to what I just said, if you aren't willing to try, if you aren't willing to put in the work, if you aren't willing to take on other people's advice, other people's kind of, again, constructive criticism, then you aren't going to be teaching yourself that discipline. No one is given discipline. You know, you have to do it. You have to do those things that you find hard to be able to constantly teach yourself. It's almost like filling up a little jar of, like, you know, like a swear jar or something. So every time you swear, you put 50p in. Every time you find something hard, you're putting a little bit of discipline into that cup. And over time, you're building up your discipline so that next time that thing comes around and it's that hard, difficult thing again, it will be a little bit less difficult the next time you go and do it. And it's kind of essentially the same thing as people say, like, you know, motivation isn't always there. Motivation is a feeling. Just like you, when you feel sad, when you feel happy, when you feel angry, Those things are feelings that come and go. You don't always feel happy, you don't always feel sad, and you don't always feel angry. There is ways to be able to deal with those emotions, and it's exactly the same as motivation. Motivation is going to be extremely high when you first start something new because it's exciting, it's new, so you're excited. You're not necessarily motivated. So when people are like, oh, I'm really struggling with motivation, you're not struggling with motivation, you're struggling with discipline, and that's the difference. Discipline is what gets the thing done, motivation is the feeling alongside it. So I think understanding that, and when you're going through motions and periods of time where it's difficult and it's hard, it's meant to be, because if it isn't getting you to where you want to be in your goal. So understanding that, listening to yourself, why am I finding this hard? Why is this difficult? Because half the time it's things you don't want to do or things that are going to challenge you, and that is what as humans we find difficult doing. So understanding that these things as motivation are feelings and discipline is the do, and if you don't do it and if you aren't finding it difficult, it's not going to get you to where you want to be. You having a goal requires you to change, because otherwise you would already be where you want to be. So these ones are really nice. I'm going to interlink them both together because they're kind of like similar. So what one piece of advice would you give to people trying to get into fitness? And if you could give one piece of advice to your old self and someone new, what would it be? So kind of interlinking them together. The one piece of advice I would give to my old self and someone new is stop caring so much about what other people think about you, because ultimately that's the biggest thing that holds us back. You know, oh, I don't want to go to the gym because what if this person thinks this about me, or people are going to think I'm silly, or people are going to look at me and I don't know what I'm doing. Or for instance, today I used the mic in the gym, or I don't really want to use the mic because people are going to be wondering what I'm doing. Who gives a shit? You're doing those things for you, and I think that is the biggest piece. It's like, you know, easier said than done, I appreciate it, but the less you care about what other people think about you, the more you will be happier within yourself, the more you will be happier in your own capabilities, and the better quality of life you will have, because you are less likely to care about what someone's opinion is about you that isn't going to impact your life. You know, if someone has an opinion, are they going to lose sleep over it? No. Are you going to lose sleep over it? Maybe. And why are you doing that to yourself? Like, it's the most negative thing that you do is worry about what other people's opinions are of you and what other people think about you. So I think that's my biggest advice to, like, definitely to myself as like younger me, because I always, you know, from my previous YouTube you would have looked, I was always so worried about what everybody else was thinking about me rather than worrying about what I thought about me. Like, what did I want in life? What did I want to do? What makes me happy? And I think that's the biggest piece of advice I would give anybody is, yeah, that, because you will have a much better quality of life when you care less about other people's opinion. But I'm just going to do 3 more so it isn't super long. So favourite glute exercise, I'm going to do like exercises because there's different ways of hitting your glutes. So you basically have hinge, extension, squat pattern. So my favourite glute exercises, this is from like personally for me, but also a lot of like my clients as well, we kind of like play around with things. Obviously the main one being a hip thrust. So you could either use the hip thrust as a barbell, hip thrust on a Smith machine, or a glute drive machine. The second one would be like an RDL that hits the glute, so Romanian deadlift, that's more glute focused. And then the last one being the single leg, it's like an elevated front foot lunge, but you basically just go straight up and down, and this really hits the glutes. I'm going to put a little video here just to show you. If you want to give it a go, that's at your own will, because they are really tough. But they would be like my main ones that hit my glutes the most. Obviously it's just a case of playing around with like the different motion patterns to see what exercise is the best for you, but I definitely would have a mix of different movement patterns in there. So like I said, like a hip extension, a sort of hip hinge, any kind of like squat patterns, and single leg movements as well, all just to be able to hit the glutes in other ways. Next one is morning versus evening person, what's more effective? So what's more effective is going to be what is effective for you as an individual, because we're all so different. We work different like shift patterns, we work different hours for work, etc. So what is effective for one person isn't going to be effective for the other. Now, in terms of like being a morning and an evening person, again, when is your like most energetic self? Everyone's again different. Personally, I prefer going like mid-morning if I can. Majority of the time I do morning clients, so I'll go after my clients, and I do find that going after my clients is harder because I've given a lot of my energy to them to make sure that they feel happy in their workouts. So essentially it would be what is going to be effective within your day. For example, I have a lot of clients who work like 8 till 5, let's say, and that gives them plenty of time to potentially go in the morning, which I would advise if they weren't an evening person, because the benefits of going in the morning would be it's done and dusted, it's out of the way, it perks you up, you know, you've got the energy for the day. Once it's done, you then don't have to worry about it in the evening once it comes around. You know, you might have had a really busy day at work, a really shit day at work, and the last thing you want to do is then go to the gym. So then it's done, it's dusted, it's out of the way, you can go home and chill. Also means that you are setting your day up in the right place, basically setting a day up in a good headspace. You know, you set yourself aside some time to work on yourself before you go into work and work for other people, basically. On the flip side of that, working out in the evening could be more beneficial for you because, you know, one, you've had more meals in you, so essentially you have more energy, you've given your body a little bit more fuel. Two, again, you might have had a really shit day at work and you just want to go and take it out and have like an hour or so to yourself. And three, it means that you can potentially work around your sleep schedule a little bit better and get a little bit more sleep in the morning before work. But it's essentially what's going to work better for you. Again, neither or is going to be more effective for one person than is the other. It's finding what is effective for you and sticking with that. Obviously you will have different energy levels for different people. You know, some people have like different medical issues that they have to work around as well to make sure that they have the energy to do these things. And if you're working shifts, some of my clients work nights, some of them work like really crazy shifts. So it's just going to be when you can fit it in and when you are going to have the most energy, when you can feel your best, when you're able to dedicate that time solely for you. Hopefully gets, you know, at least one meal in before you go. And again, that's my opinion. You know, sometimes people work very well with being fasted. I personally couldn't go into the gym and do a really heavy workout fasted because there's no fuel for me to pull from. So again, that question is kind of a broad statement because it's going to depend on the person, the individual, what you do as a job, what your schedule's like, etc. But I personally would advise doing it in the morning because that's my personal opinion. Last one is the best supplements for females, and again, it's going to be very dependent on you as an individual. I wouldn't advise supplements unless I get to know people, like essentially with my clients, so I can get to know them, and if there's certain things that arise, then I will direct them into what sort of supplements to go for. But my main kind of advice would be to make sure that you are looking after your nutrition and getting your vitamins and your minerals through your food first. Supplements are supplementation to supplement your diet. So they're, you know, having a tablet every morning and eating like shit is really not going to be effective. So making sure that you're looking after your diet first, you're drinking enough water and you're getting the main things in, you're staying hydrated, you eat enough fruits, veggies, you support your diet through, you know, a good balance, and then maybe go from there. So my main ones is vitamin D, essentially making sure that you're looking after the bones. You know, there's a lot of benefits for vitamin D. My other one would be vitamin C, especially because we don't live in a very sunny country, so vitamin C, making sure that you're getting enough of that. There's like a few that you could kind of dibble dabble into, but omega-3 or some sort of fish oil, or like if you're vegan, omega-3 vegan, because it is so vital for your bones, brain, and it can be really good for anti-inflammatory, and also just supporting muscles, bones, macros, etc. So really good one to take for anyone really, especially if you do heavy training or you are training going to the gym. Really good to help to support with your recovery, and alongside the same with magnesium as well. Again, really good for recovery, really good for an anti-inflammatory. Take it prior to bed and can help you with your sleep as well. If you really want to like go into like having everything, like maybe a multivitamin, but making sure that you're getting a good quality one, but I would do research in yourself, listen to your body, understand your body, and then pick the supplements that are going to help support you and elevate you, and elevate your life in a more positive way. Again, you can do like blood tests and things like that to see if you're low and like deficient in anything, and then you can go from there and make it like even more specific for yourself. But that is the end for today's video. I hope you have enjoyed a little bit of a mismatch of things and answering some more questions and things. So the next episode, I'm probably going to do a what I eat in a day. As I said earlier, it's not going to be like super exciting, but it'll just give you an idea of like how I reach my calories, what I have, and we'll kind of interlink it with a training day as well. But thank you again for watching. Please like and subscribe, share if you want to, and I will see you in the next one.